Hey everyone, and welcome to the next edition of the Snapchat. I'm joined today by Cozy Snap. Cozy, I have a very funny story I got to tell you, open it up with, and you'll understand. Everyone with kids will understand how this works. So basically, my son, my 6-year-old, he absolutely loves Pokemon. Actually, they all love Pokemon now. They're getting really into Pokemon. And he's been asking for like Pokemon plushies and stuff. And like Costco had like this big, like chonky Snorlax. I got him. He loved it. But you will never guess what his favorite Pokemon is. He absolutely loves Scyther. Like loves Scyther.
Dude, I think that was mine growing up. Definitely mine growing up.
Really? What?
Oh, for sure. Scyther, when there was only 151, like it was a smaller pool, but man, I love Scyther. He has such a cool, like, I don't know. I think he's just like as a boy, it's like, oh man, he's cool. Like, and like the jungle packs came out. Like, oh yeah, man, I love Scyther. He's not even good.
No way.
But he wasn't.
Yeah, so it's so funny because like he loves Scyther and like and now there's different versions of Scyther. There's like Scizor and Cleavor and all this. He's all into it, and he's been asking. He's like, Dad. He's like, if I get a good report card, he's like, can I get a Scyther toy? I'm like, yeah, well look. And I've been looking for like I can't find a Scyther plushie. I can't find a Scyther toy. They just don't. I was looking on like in China for stuff. I was like, there's got to be something somewhere. Can't find it, and I'm like, oh man, and then. Miraculously, I'm not sure how this happened. We're outside, right? We're outside playing in like the kiddie pool we've got. And he's like, Daddy, look, it's Scyther. I'm like, he yells, it's Scyther. It was a praying mantis on our window, right? And anyways, the praying mantis seemed hurt. It wasn't flying away. It kind of looked like it was laboring. I'm not sure what was wrong. It was like a kind of a small baby one. Anyways, so he's like, Dad, it's hurt. Can we heal it? I'm like, well, I can't put it in a Pokeball and bring it to the Poke Center, but like, do you want to like catch it and like put it in a little container?
A+ response right there, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So anyways, what we did is we had this bug catcher that was really nice and pretty big and stuff like that. And we put it in there and we created a habitat for it. And it was like pretty comfortable. We gave it a little bottle cap of water and all this stuff. We went to the store, we bought crickets, we fed it like little baby crickets and stuff like that. And we've had this for like 2 weeks. And when we went up to the cottage, he named it Scythe. He's like, we got to bring Scythe to the cottage. So we're driving like 3.5 hours up north, right? Like north of Toronto. And he's holding on his lap, like the little thing, taking care of the praying mantis, right? And he brought it everywhere. We went out for dinner. He took it with us, right? Like he put it on the table and had, like we were having dinner at a little restaurant. He brought it with him the whole time. And anyway, so long story short, he's like, hey, Daddy, Scyther's flying again. Scythe's flying. He's doing, dude, when I tell you that this mantis actually looked like it got a little bigger, got a little healthier. And he's like, Dad, I want to let it go. Wow. And we said, okay, do you want to let it go like here at the cottage or do you want to let it go like at home? He's like, I want to let it go at home so he can come back and visit me. So I'm like borderline like tearing up.
That's so cute.
Anyways,
man.
It's so cute, man. It's so wholesome. And then anyways, so long story short, we get home. And he lets the mantis go, but he didn't want to like force out a cage. So he basically at night he just opened the thing up and just let it leave, right? And in the morning he went and he saw that it had left, and then he got really sad and he was like, I actually don't want Scythe to leave. I hope he comes back soon. And so we're still waiting for Scythe's return. But I just wanted to share that story because it was so heartwarming.
That's cute, bro. No, I love that, man. I love too kids' abilities to be fearless when they're young too. Like. My son now he's at the age where like, dude, he's going up when the waves come up and then they go back down. There's like crabs that dig under the sand. He'll just get one. He'll get like a handful of them. And he's like, Dad, look, crabs. And I just like look in his hand and there's all these crabs. And I'm like, dude, kids are crazy. Like, I love it. Like they don't care. They'll just pick up anything. Right. And they're like, they don't have that instilled in them. But dude, I want to commend you, man. That's a good dad letting. Like, I had a great father, man. Great dad. And I don't know if he would have let me bring a praying mantis in the car. I just don't think that would happen. But, dude, what a dad over there, man. That was a cute story, man. I love it.
I'm glad you like it. And talking about dads, Mr. Fantastic's a dad, right? Is he? He is, right?
Yeah, to one of the most Yes, he is.
Wait, hold on. Who's his kid?
Well, because the first step's kind of touch into this, and I'll let that happen before we talk about it.
Oh, that's like a spoiler?
She's known as she was pregnant in the movie. Yeah.
Oh damn! I didn't know this, man. Okay, hold on. I gotta start reading some more, man.
It's not like Spider-Man is Peter Parker like common, but it is. If you're a comic guy, you definitely know about Reed and Sue's kid.
Okay, so I do not know, but I do know. Okay, there was one thing that came up. We're so derailed. So someone said that like Magneto is Scarlet Witch's dad.
Yeah,
Is that true?
Of course.
What?
Bro, what? You need to stop reading like
What?
Jeff the Baby Land Shark and go into some of the basics over here, man. What? What do you mean what? You know Quicksilver?
I thought Polaris
Quicksilver's really-
was.
No, there's multiple. You can have more than one kid. How many kids do you have?
Okay, fair. Okay, that's a that's a great point, Cozy. Okay, I can't even. How do I argue that? I can't. Like that's actually the perfect point. Cozy, you've done it. You've done it. You've convinced me that you're correct.
All right, talking about Mr. Fantastic though. Last week you gave him a what? What'd you give him? 4.5, 4?
I gave him a flat 4, and you gave him a sterling 5.
How you feel about that 4?
I'm a little sad. How can you be sad? It's so sad. You give something a 4 and it feels low. Isn't that crazy? This card's spanking, man. It's so good.
To me, it's like I thought after Surge, I was like, okay, the fool me once thing, like Alex, he's gonna get it. He's gonna understand that the randomness doesn't matter. And then here we are, 5-star, bro. Yeah, I think it just doesn't matter, right? And very close to, in fact, in your review video, you said it best, right? It's like different than Surge, but also same in the sense of like, oh, even if I wasn't going to do X, I might as well do that because it is discounted or the power, whatever it might be. And it's a deck you built, right? And Fantastic is just being that engine for it. And so, yeah, this card's crack, bro. Crack.
It's awesome. And what I really liked about it the most was that it changed the way my decks played. Because suddenly when, a card got reduced in power, like let's say, I play this hit on 2. Yeah, it hits Sarah. Now my game plan changes. It hits Gwenpool. Gwenpool comes down on 3 now. My game plan changes. Especially with the discounts it was applying, it felt like it was making every single game feel a little different. Like the cards that it was discounting, like suddenly I'm like, oh man, my Shongers is now only a 2 cost. Or like whatever, right? Like, oh, it hit Brood or it hit whatever I wanted. And suddenly I have this ability to flip this lane, which I don't think they're going to expect me to be able to Gwenpool and Galacta that after Mr. Fantastic got the pump off. Like, it's going to be crazy. There's been a lot of opportunities to really lean into, like, my opponent cannot predict what I'm about to do thanks to Mr. Fantastic.
Or just like holding on to the aces where it's like, okay, you could play that thing that's now a 3 or 4 to a 3, or you hang on to it, right? And then it's like you can combine that with another card that you discounted, and maybe you didn't get Sarah down, but now in a Surfer play, you can do something really big, play other stuff on curve, and then 6 now looks a way better. So agree, man. It's like you can either play it right then and there for the, consistency ledge. I sometimes like the later plays is always sometimes, not always, but you get more cube equity a lot of those times with the surprise factor rather than, you play down something really good early. I don't know, right? And we'll have to see how that kind of works with Torch, right? Like, do you just play him down there right away because you can get other things to pop him off, or do you kind of hang on that Mr. Fantastic has buffed him up now 3 times and you just play him in that filler, right? Like, that's going to be interesting how it works out. But what's great about him, and this is where the conversation went last week, is it's not just Surfer, dude. It's all around. That flexibility, pun intended, is immense.
No, it's incredibly flexible. It's in a ton of different shells. All the shells are performing exceptionally well. Now, keep in mind right now, we do have our untapped base statistics over the last 7 days are going to include bots because we don't have enough infinite base stats, so rank 70 and above. He's running a 34% meta share, which is massive. That's a season pass that's sold. It's running a 56% win rate and a highly positive cube rate. Every single shell that he's in is being widely successful. This is just an overall good card. And here's a fun thing too. I often have Mr. Fantastic and Surge in similar decks. And I'm looking at the two, and I'm like, which one do I want to play first? And I'm often looking at my hand and thinking to myself, okay, well, what do I want to hit in my hand? What do I want to draw into to decide? But I'm generally finding that I enjoy playing Mr. Fantastic first and maybe even following up with the Surge on the next turn. But like the fact that it's displacing Surge on turn 2 goes to show you how good it is, because Surge was a de facto, like, how do you not play this card on turn 2? Well, because you're holding Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, not to get into like Herbie too fast, but I think that is ultimately, dude, we literally called this frame for frame. Like last week, I said to myself, my only fear for these cards is that they're all battling for the 2 slot. And we saw that with Sauron whenever before Starbrand. Remember, like, Starbrand was a great card. So, like, we saw that happen with Sauron and Starbrand, and it was lackluster, and then they changed that, and then it popped off. You have something like Herbie, that's a really good card, right? It's a good card, but as you start to compete with now, whatever, Surge, Mr. Fantastic, now, you have to pick one, right? You have to pick one of these to work, and I think that's starting to be a bit more troublesome.
Yeah, when we talk about Herbie, we could transition to Herbie now, honestly. We'll talk about both of them at the same time anyway, because they're kind of in the same breath there. Now, Herbie's only running at 11% play rate right now. Similar statistics, though. The win rate is almost identical, just a couple tenths of a percent lower at 55.3%, whereas Mr. Fantastic is at 55.9. Again, that is with some bot inflation there. We both came in at 4s on Herbie. And here's the thing, it is a 2-3, and you said exactly what the problem with Herbie's been, was that if I'm playing a deck with Herbie, Surge, and Mr. Fantastic, I'm never playing Herbie first. If I'm holding Surge, I'm playing Surge. If I'm holding Mr. Fantastic, I'm playing Mr. Fantastic. Herbie at best comes out on turn 3 most of the time, and if he is coming out on turn 2, it feels like my less optimal play for turn 2. Like, I didn't draw the cards I actually wanted. And that's not Herbie's fault, because I feel like he actually does some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, between doubling in power, which is how I know Torch is going to be so crazy, because it felt good on Herbie, right? So it's going to be even more wild on him. Or the energy, like, it just felt like if this was its own card prior to this month, it would have had, I think, way more success. The fact that it's coming into with Mr. Fantastic is what I think is going to be the tough piece with it. Like, I think Surge and Herbie can coexist. When you have all three, it makes it even harder. And then there's way more twos that you can even bring into this situation. But with that being said, I think there is plenty of legs, even though Herbie here looks, or you call it Wall-E, which I think underrated movie, by the way, very very underrated movie. He doesn't have legs, but still, definitely Herbie is a good card, but like doesn't just get outshadowed in the future.
So basically, Wall-E is like the trash compactor version of Herbie. Herbie's like the scientist version. I think they're from the same universe. Don't even try to convince me otherwise.
Like if Eve and Wall-E had a baby, it's Herbie.
Basically, or Herbie invented Wall-E, and Herbie is Eve's dad.
Are you impressed that I knew Eve? I just want to throw that out there.
You know what? It's so funny because I had to like think about what that was. Like I knew who Eve was, but I couldn't remember what their name was.
Bro,
but he says Eve.
Dude, for this Lego thing, when Lego is looking at sponsors, it's so funny. I always know where somebody sourced me from, because in the email it's like Cozy Snap, Cozy Rivals, Cozy, Cozy Gamer every now and then. And when this one said Cozy Snap, one person said, oh, this guy knows all the Disney characters too, because from that old Disney game. Like, bro, one thing I can tell you, in 10 years from now when Snap's gone, you'll still know all these Marvel characters. This stuff, it lives for you. And you'll know their weird nicknames you give them. So you're just going to have that knowledge just sitting in there.
I'm glad, man. I honestly, I'll be honest with you. I think that having like an affinity for the universe makes a huge difference. It's why I still play Rivals, like admittedly casually with my friends, but I do, because I like I'm not going to play I'm not playing Overwatch. I'm just not invested in those characters the same way I'm invested in Rivals characters. Same reason why like I've been playing Mystic Mayhem for funsies, because I like the characters, right? Like I'm invested in, I want my Scarlet Witch to just blow stuff up. Like that's pretty cool. Like I love the character. It makes a huge difference. And, we're kind of losing focus here, but I will say that Herbie is a good card, but I don't think it doesn't trade punches effectively with Mr. Fantastic. I think Mr. Fantastic's stronger. I do think that Herbie could find spots outside of the Fantastic decks, which I think are going to be great, specifically because I think the effects are super strong. It has a very high floor because you have like the plus. Each of the activated abilities is fantastic. They're all great. They all punch above the 2-3 stat line, and it's the randomness that kind of makes it a little more fair. But they're all great effects.
Yeah, I think for me it's like, because Pedro Pascal is so flexible too, the problem with that is if you put them in other decks that are going to have other twos for the most part, then now you're adding a third two. You know what I mean? Like that's still what, there are decks that don't have twos that they're going to fit in, but the ones that do, that's when it makes it just a bit more tough.
Yeah, and Herbie was getting, like with the double up, he was getting into Shun-Chi range for me on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like this was like a 210 and more often than not. The one thing I will say about Mr. Fantastic, it sounds like we're doing these together, but it sounds like Mr. Fantastic, the one thing that I found interesting is I wasn't sure how to quite counter him, because you can't quite use Mobius on Mobius because he only does that half the time. It's like he kind of feels like hard to counter with the exception of Red Guardian giving a good old pump. But like overall, he feels like his effect has enough variation where your opponent doesn't quite know what's going on, but each of the effects is so strong for you that you're able to take off. I don't think Herbie quite hits that, but Herbie still definitely a good card. Cozy, was there anything else you wanted to say to close off on either Herbie or Mr. Fantastic?
I just like the note you said about uncounterable kind of. I mean, like it is, like obviously Red Guardian just continues to look like a really good card because it shuts down it can target some of these human torches, the Reed Richards, right? But when you have something that's so powerful in two different ways, it's like, let's say it was +1 power, not +2. Like at that point, it's like, okay, then you can lean more on Mobius, right? But there's two-headed dragon, and you have to pick one to go after, and sometimes none, and then everyone's running that too. So do you make space for that? It's tough because he's going to be existing for a very long time in this game. Reed is a powerful card.
Talking about powerful cards, Cozy, I suspect that Fantasticar just might be powerful enough to perhaps present a problem in Marvel Snap. I think the card is doing very well. And there is the topic of discussion essentially, like, could Fantasticar be a problem? Like, from a couple different perspectives. First of all, in terms of the card itself being a 4/7 that on activate gives you its end of turn cards +2 power, there's always a risk with expensive activate cards. A 4-costed activate has an inherent risk of just falling a little flat. Activate has always felt better on less expensive cards, but this one here really does feel like Silver Surfer for the archetype. In fact, its animation is essentially Silver Surfer's animation, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
This card has been very good.
I think it's, as High Evo dipped out of the meta a bit, we forgot that was always a good deck, right? And if it had something that could supercharge it, which it has it in the past, but nothing, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like so many cards that have come out in the past were always like, oh, this could be a good High Evo card, and then it just kind of always like fell flat. We've seen different variations, but nothing really ever stuck outside of some obvious stuff. This is one of those that it just, when you put that together with already such a powerful deck and it just scaling to its size that it does, and it winning with the big power and it winning with turn skips, that's when you get something crazy. 4/7 to boot is not a bad stat line when you have something like this with it.
There's no question about it. And one of the things about it too is that this is the kind of card where honestly you can play it on turn 5 and keep those end of a turn of effects happening. Playing on turn 5 is absolutely fine. Yep. Why? Because you're floating that energy, you're proccing that Hulk in your hand, you're pew-pewing the Cyclops, you're doing all the things you want to do anyways. You got the Misty Knight proccing, and this is still primed for the activation on turn 6 or 7. I tend to prefer magic-based versions of High Evo. However, I do think that the best versions of High Evo will likely not include magic simply because Merlin is so prevalent in the meta. Merlin's still a good card. If Merlin's going to be popular, you can't play magic with confidence because Merlin just loves to eat that limbo. Yep.
Are you team Bruce Banner or no?
I always play Bruce. Yeah, Ever since the buff, I find that he's cope, but I like him.
No, I think he's cope, but in the way of like unpredictableness that can win you games, and I like that. Like I think I've always leaned towards that, right? It's like the copycat versus not. Although I did see Thaddeus was getting a little bit of a have you dipped your toe back into Mr. Ross?
So I did play some Thaddeus originally, but because I was playing an Infinite She-Hulk and Hulk version of the shell, and then ultimately what I did was I decided to cut the Infinite. And then I wanted to lean much more towards the smaller end of turn cards. And so I started including Adam Warlock because I felt like Adam Warlock's likely to draw cards anyways. And he also might encourage people to play into a Cyclops location to get additional value for Cyclops, because Adam Warlock plays very similarly to Nebula. The reason why you played Nebula in an Evo shell was because it forced players to play into that location, which gave Cyclops and even the likes of the Thing, the Evo Thing, the opportunity to have that greatest impact, which then made the Abomination free. These versions of those decks don't play the Abomination, so you don't necessarily have to do that. But if you play something like an Adam Warlock, it's either drawing cards or baiting opponents into what could be a potential Cyclops location where you can maximize his pew-pewage. So I did cut Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, despite the fact he was pretty good. I didn't mind him. And I actually wonder if She-Hulk actually stays in these decks, because I actually think you could probably cut She-Hulk and commit your turn 5 to Fantasticar.
So we were already not on the train with this car whenever we thought it was going to be mid. Now that it's even better than mid, right? I think it just, it's just tough because you have, I talked about the video you did about the situation with it. You just set a precedent, right? And when you have something that is now a good card, it just doesn't give me warm feelings for the future of it. And again, in the ecosystem, sure, it's like, okay, you could get the value of it. Maybe it won't matter as much when all the cards aren't tied together. If this was an independent card, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what has me even more so. There's just a lot, and I don't know. It just has me a bit uneasy.
Dude, everything that kind of like smatter, like your thoughts being all over the place is exactly how I feel. Like it's so hard. First of all, we both came in. I came in at 4. You came in at 3. So I came in a little higher. Get smoked, Cozy. I got to win one eventually, right? Come on, I got to win one eventually. But anyways, with the super premium season pass, what you're mentioning here, and it's been such a weird thing because we even talked about it on your side. We did the Marvel Snap checkup. It's not just about the Fantasticar, because in a vacuum, right, the Fantasticar does not seem like that. It's not an argument of value. I keep saying this. It's not an argument of value because Marvel Snap cards are so unbelievably expensive as it is. An extra $10 for a meta relevant card doesn't feel that awful, like in terms of a monetary thing. Now, again, there's exchange rates. Money's different for all different people, right? It's impossible to make a blanket statement with regards to value that fits for everybody. So you're right. We're on a slippery slope, man.
They would never do this, but like just imagine, and I would say they never because there's just no way marketing wise it would work out. But like it goes down the slippery slope of, okay, let's say there was a season pass plus. Now you had to have the season pass plus to get the plus, but the season pass, stay with me, plus had 6,000 tokens for $5. Okay, wow, that's a deal. That's a huge deal. But then all of a sudden now you're having to, you know what I mean? It's like you can keep on discounting the value of it in game, but then it's adding up, and that's where it's like they're gonna continue to do that so long as people buy it. And hey, spoiler, dude, this card was bought. Like this, clearly, that people play this card a lot. Like we've talked about cards in the past, like new cards that have come out, and we'd be like, oh, it has a. I mean, it has up to what? It's getting close to a 10% popularity. That's up there, bro. That's up there for a premium plus pass card.
They sold a lot of these, and here's the thing: there's a couple things that really hold this whole situation in check. First, this is a Series 4 card, so if it's a good card, it comes down at 3,000 tokens at the end of the season. That at least is much more affordable than the 6,000 of a Series 5. That's not to say it'll always be a Series 4. They could change it to a Series 5. I don't know if that's their intention or not. The other thing worth noting here is that I'm nervous that they made a really good card, the purchased one, because now you have 2 paywalled cards, one of which is very competitive, both of which are competitive. Let's be honest, they're both competitive. And so for the $20, you have yourself a situation where like you can get 2 very strong cards and have an advantage for this month. Like, let's call it what it is, right? And so it does set a very dangerous precedent because, you know, before the season pass, you're talking about playing Marvel Snap costing you $120 a year USD. Now it's $240 if you want this. And what's crazy about it is I'm a huge Evo fan. I've loved Evo since Evo was a thing. It's been like my go-to deck. That and Surfer have been my 2 archetypes. And I have not been playing Fantasticar or Evo because I feel bad. Like I don't want to go against the community that has a valid issue with what's been going on with Snap, and it almost feels bad. And this is someone, Cozy, I'll admit openly, even before Fantasticar, I bought the super premium season pass when it was introduced because I like the borders. I like having cool splits. I just bought it because I figured I make content for this game. The extra 10 levels is whatever, but you know what? If it makes it so I can take a couple nights off and still complete the season pass, and I'm all for it. And so I was always okay with giving Second Dinner that extra $10, $15 or whatever it was. And in theory, this should have been an additional value for someone like me. And instead, I just feel a little dirty, man. Like I don't know how to even. I'm not sure how to feel about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm the opposite. I wasn't buying the super premium, and then now I did because, of course, why? You know what I mean? It's like I'm not missing out on that, right? For something so simple. So they're catching multiple people, and then they might even be getting people that don't get the pass at all, and they might as well just get 2 cards for whatever, right? I don't know how many of that they're getting, but either way, it's just. We've said slippery slope so many times that the slope is already slipped. You know what I mean? So I just don't love kind of where this trend could go.
No, I agree. And I know that we've been kind of like a little rambly on this. It's because honestly, like it's such a conflicting topic, and I'm honestly not sure how I feel about it. On the surface, right? The value of spending $10 to get an additional card should be okay in Snap. Like that represents a pretty good value. And the season pass from a value perspective has always been a bastion of value. It's just when you take into account the Kid Omega stuff, and that's ridiculous. The Kid Omega stuff's ridiculous and unacceptable. The game modes being heavily kind of like grinding and stuff like that, that's ridiculous too. I'm just hoping that Second Inner takes a look at the information they've received, take a look at the feedback, and says, "Listen, I get it. They got to sell cards. They cannot keep the lights on if they don't sell cards. It's a card game. They have to sell cards. There has to be some sort of monetary hook. Like, I get that. Let's be real here, but let's hope that they look at these signals and say, okay, the Kid Omega thing, that's not cool. That's not worth it. Get rid of that. No more Kid Omega crap." But if this Fantasticar, if people like, if we can fix some of the rougher edges of the monetization, and we can make this super premium season pass feel like it has some value for players while not alienating players who want the free-to-play route, or keep it Series 4 to make it so that those tokens are much more discounted when that thing comes out. They have to do something to find that balance, and then it'll feel okay. But they can't have all of this. They can't have their cake and eat it too. They got to pick their poison.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, listen, the lights are on. They got 100 million billion funding, whatever they got, right? So, like, the lights are on just fine for them. It's like, man, how cool would it have been if First Steps is coming out later this month, and to celebrate, if you log in, okay, you got your login bonus, right? So you got people coming to your game every day. Maybe they weren't going to come, and make it steep. Make it 20 days, 25 days out of the 30. I don't care. Make it the whole month. Celebrate the movie coming out with a brand new free card. Hey, how fun. Win for win. Why have to charge for it, right? Like, we keep on, I feel like comps, it's like, oh, it's okay. They got to make it. It just, in this span of the life cycle for the game, like, no. I think it's just crazy that they just keep, where's the bone? Where's the like, hey, thanks for playing, players. Appreciate you guys, right? And it's only when something bad happens. And that to me just feels icky. I don't like it. I just don't. And I feel like we can keep slipping and saying, well, I get it. And yeah, I don't know. The whole thing's a little wild to me, but either way, came out pretty strong. We'll see how it all settles out.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And I do agree. They could have gone the approach of trying to incentivize like players to return to the game by having a highly meta-relevant card, perhaps in a login bonus or something along those lines. I'm sure we'll talk about Fantasticar again in the future. As you can say, a very sensitive and evolving topic in the world of Snap. As that takes us to our Snapchat mailbag, Cozy, we have a few things here that we want to get through. And you know what? We just finished talking about Merlin, and Drew Peterson comes in with a question all about Merlin. Here's one thing to point out about Merlin as a season pass card that I love. Usually you get the season pass and you're excited to use it for the first weekend mission and maybe the second, but Merlin did not feel that way at all. Even this last weekend, it was like, sure, I'd love to play some Merlin.
Merlin, I feel like, funny enough, remember what I said going into his season, how I was like, man, I'm just going to be playing this card for a very long time because I feel like there's so many decks, there's so many ways you can experiment with it, and the fun factor is tied behind. You look back at June, man, there's a lot of fun to be had in that month. Like, Reed is awesome and better in terms of play because of consistency. Merlin's more fun. Like, he just has, obviously getting things cheaper for cost is relative. So whatever, it could hit crazy stuff, but I feel like Merlin's gonna always have that fun factor. I think that's what it answers what you just said.
Yeah. Merlin was just a great season pass card, applicable to all players of all collection levels. It was a great filler card, and it had its role in meta decks. So very well designed card there. As Ephraim comes in with a fun fact, Cozy, you just finished saying that you're a Disney connoisseur of knowledge. Listen to this fun fact. The Underminer from The Incredibles is actually kind of based on Mole Man because The Incredibles takes a lot of inspiration from the Fantastic Four.
That would make sense. Okay. That in fact, that's a fun little Easter egg then, because I remember, it was like the first thing I saw from it.
Yeah, because I was like looking at Mole Man. Did you even bring up the Underminer? Did you use that particular name?
Yeah, it looked like. No, I think I said he looks like the guy from Mole Man. I think is what I call him or something. Maybe I said Underminer.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I feel like you might have actually kind of brought that up, which is funny because and apparently he has he's just a small cameo role in The Incredibles, which I haven't actually watched with my kids. I kind of forgot that movie existed.
Good one, dude. The first one's a good movie.
Yeah, I just remember the scene when he like punches his boss through all the wood doors, like at the start, where he gets denied. Yeah, it's like the opening. I just remember that. It's so funny because he's so like just like
the concept of superheroes trying to blend in and then like using their powers sometimes, and people around them seeing it is amazing. I love it. Like he gets upset and he picks up his car, and this little kid on a bike goes by, and he's just like, and like, dude, if I had super strength and you had to like try to keep that in, bro, like I'd be cracking up. I don't know. I'd break a couple times.
Yeah. It's funny because like, there's I love those fish out of water type stories. Like even with Thor, like the original Thor, I like the idea that like he's just a dude, but he thinks he's still a god. Like I love that like that plot mechanism. I can't think of what the exact word is that they use to describe those things, but I think it's really fascinating. Jamie Bignell comes in with something very interesting here and says, "Hey guys, love your work and the Snapchat. What do you think about collector's reserves? I haven't opened a single one since Second Dinner made the change to them way back when. I can't even remember. Despite being a casual gamer, I'm approaching 900 unopened reserves. I'm hoping they'd make improvements to them, but after so long, I doubt it. Should I hold on for a change in the future or just enjoy whatever pixel variants that they give me now? I look forward to your show every week. Thank you very much."
Join in, man. Join the club. I'm there too. If they ever do an open all, I'm gonna be a rich man. But like for now, I just like watching number go up.
I have like 1,300, I think, 1,200 range. Like I have a ton, and I don't know what to do with them. I just hope that they one day make them a little better. And guys, we'll see you on that next Snapchat episode.